Billy Beige here. Today we're looking at Mythic Legions All Stars 6, Clavian. Now, you notice I didn't say Necronominous Wave 2, because this isn't a figure that was a holdover from that wave or was one of the figures that was, pushed into the All Stars wave because, you don't want a $700 wave. Clavian is from the first wave of Mythic Legions Kickstarter figures. He's a blood magic red poisonous skeleton that can rip off his limbs, use them as weapons, and regrow them. So that's pretty badass, honestly. And I hope in the future we have other blood magic skeletons, because I would love to have a complete skeleton body in red to throw Pelvicus's head on, and that would be fun because Pelvicus really wants to be nude. That's just a fact. That's a lore fact. But let's take a look at Clavian out of the package, and he does come with a moderate amount of stuff. This is back in the day. We don't have where he's going to come with like extra ankles, 27 belts, crossbody this, crossbody that, yeah. But he does come with some neat stuff. He has that original Necronominous shield there. The basic shield, got some little paint marks on there, is faithfully recreated there. I like that. He has his regular kind of shield holder there. I don't know if they stuck anything else in there. You got a belt. You got his shoulder pauldrons. You got some back adapters. Love the back adapter. Ah, there we go. There's the other shield peg there. I'm glad the shield handle's in there. I don't know if that originally came with him or not. There's the other back adapter flying around loose in there. That's fine. Whatever. And then we have Clavian in here. I'll put this to the side here. Oh yeah, Clavian. Clavian's looking mighty red and mighty good. And even though they don't do a lot of gore, he kind of does have sort of blood splattered swords here. I'm going to say that reminds me of dried blood. You could say it's rust, but same difference. But let's go ahead and finish getting him out of the package and get him all together. And here's Clavian with his pauldrons, his shield, and his sword all decked out there. I had where I left off the belt because the older style belts had where you could stick them around the waist, but they were kind of loose. You could do them across the body, but then you have the belt there, and I feel like he looks better without the belt. He does still have a dagger that I don't have on him there, and I think this is like the first time I've actually used the shield handle that goes around the wrist. You kind of just work it like from the thin edge and then kind of twist it around without damaging anything. It's a slow process, but I do kind of like it, but I think I prefer the shield handle. Altogether, I like the striking look that Clavian has with his Hawaiian punch red bones. It's cool. I like the gunmetal armor, the slight accents on it. It's minimalist, but it still has where it's like blood magic skeleton. So the one thing that like I never really paid attention to, I mean, like you see pictures of Clavian and everything through like Facebook groups or looking at like the Source Horseman. I never knew that he had, or never thought about where he has an armored like left arm, like a whole armored one, instead of having the skeleton armored arm there. That's kind of neat. I like that. I like that asymmetry there, and it's just a little bit, and something I don't think I really noticed on any other like figures from back then, but maybe it's time to take another look at them. Let's take a look at Articulation next. So again, like this is a figure from basically 10 years ago. So bear with me on the articulation here if you have where you're more used to the more modern Mythic Legions that have where they go past a 90 degree and things like this. This was the best we had at the time, and I still adore him. So at the head, you have your standard ball joint, up so far, down so far, side to side. You can spin it all the way around. He has that ruby red neck peg there. I dig it. It has where you can twist at that. With the shoulder pauldrons in, they can go up so far. So you can get this armored 1.0 knight arm out into a T-pose there. And then you can get the skeleton arm out into a little bit more than a T-pose, since it has where it's got the armor that kind of like pushes up out of the way. I'm going to remove the pauldron so you can see this a little better. Yeah, that was so cool. The first time I had where I messed with like a skeleton legion builder was where it was like, oh, this flaps over. That's so cool. Yeah, it was neat. Here he has an elbow hinge that goes, oof. I'm gonna say it's about a 90, maybe 89. You can twist at the elbow. You have a twist at the forearm. You have a hinge at the wrist. You got a little twist at the wrist. You have a ball joint at the waist. You have hinges at the hips, so his legs can go all the way out. His arms are in the way, but his legs can go all the way out if you have where you hinge them far enough. So yeah, you can see some skeleton crotch. So far, well, actually, thanks to being a skeleton, super far forward, super far back, and let's see here, I popped his leg off. Hooray! Pop that back in there. Doot doot. I'd give him a little bit more than a 90 on the knee there, and then every hinge at the knee has where it's a twist. You could twist at the ankle, hinge so far down with the, well, yeah, that's classic. It's classic style now, because now the Valiant Knight body doesn't have that large pointed toe. Hinge so far forward, and then you have where you twist for your ankle rockers, and it's always a generous ankle rocker on there. And that's the articulation. That's the original 1.0 articulation there, and I appreciate it. I think it's still good. I do like that we have better articulation now, but to get like an All-Stars figure, it's like a slice of the time period there. It's a chunk there. You just like reaching back. I look at it as I look at it kind of like a classic figure now. But let's get to some comparisons. Here's Clavian with Thoracis, Scally Bone Splitter, the Skeleton Raider, Sir Andrew, Deacon and Sir Enoch, and very tall Baradak, because I finished my leg pegs and put them on there. Yeah. So, do I think you need to add Clavian to your Mythic Legions collection? In 2025, 10 years out, I think if I hadn't got this in the All-Stars all in, I would pass on Clavian if I didn't want a blood magic, poison, regenerating, bone smacking skeleton. He's a cool character. He's a cool looking figure, but it does have where it really shows compared to what we have now. And I'm not saying like they are super articulated, double jointed, gonna, wipe their own ass action figures as of right now. But it really is a difference handling this figure compared to a Valiant Knight or a Legendary Barbarian or an Undead Builder or any of the skeletons. It's kind of night and day now, and it's awesome to actually feel that way, that this line has come that far. Now, again, this figure is full price, $49.99. If I had to choose between this All-Stars figure and a Skeleton Raider, I take the Skeleton Raider every day. Every day. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you have Clavian? Will this be your second Clavian? Do you still feel like these original 1.0 figures have where they are worth picking up? I like them, and I'm glad to have them, but I wouldn't go out of my way to like try to get them, because like $50 is $50, and I'd say you can spend it on a more modern figure from the same company. But again, let me know what you think down in the comments below. If this is your first time viewing, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.